Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Before we begin our journey tonight, take a moment to settle in. Find a comfortable position, let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, and allow yourself to slow down. As the world outside quiets, we'll step gently into another world, one far from noise, deadlines, and demands. Tonight, we'll journey into the warm, golden sands of the ancient world. We'll walk beside the winding Nile, but not in the Egypt you may know so well. No, we'll be traveling further south, past the cataracts, into the peaceful lands of the Kingdom of Kush, a kingdom long overshadowed, quietly thriving along the riverbanks, a place of incense and iron, of pyramids and palms, of silence and sun. We'll explore its sleepy temples, meet its artisans and farmers, hear its winds and distant drums. But don't worry, we won't rush. This is your time, a quiet time. Just listen and let your mind drift as we gently enter the land of Kush.
Let us drift now. Imagine you're standing along the river, the Nile, vast and blue, winding ever so slowly through sun-soaked land. The reeds sway gently, brushing against your ankles. You hear a soft rustle in the grass, maybe a bird's wings. The air is warm, like a blanket just out of the sun. We are not in Upper Egypt, as most would think. We're further south, deep into what the ancients called Nubia. And here lies the old, quiet kingdom of Kush. The world around you is older than many remember. Pyramids here are smaller than Giza's, but just as proud. Stones shaped by human hands, resting in perfect silence under the stars. The kingdom of Kush thrived not once, but many times, as neighbors to the mighty Egyptians, and later as conquerors of Egypt itself. But tonight, we're not here for conquest or kings. We're here for the rhythm of daily life, the tiny moments, the footsteps on sand, the hum of village life. And it all begins with the Nile.
Close your eyes and let's wander now north of today's Sudan, where the river gently curves, to a place called Napata. In the time of Kush, Napata was more than a capital. It was a heartbeat. Imagine walking its dusty paths. Children play with little clay dolls. Goats nibble lazily at scattered leaves. Women stir large clay pots near doorways, and the scent of honeyed barley fills the air. People here rise with the sun and sleep with the stars. Their homes are built from mud brick, cool in the heat of day and warm in the chilly desert night. In the center of the village, a small shrine hums softly in the breeze, dedicated to Amun, the god both Egyptian and Kushite, where prayers are whispered like lullabies. This world is not in a hurry.
The sun begins to rise again, casting a pale golden light over the landscape. There is no sound of alarms, no rush, no clamor, just the slow stirring of life. In a simple home near the banks of the Nile, a woman rises early. She stretches her arms, wrapped in linen, and steps barefoot across the cool floor of her home. The clay walls are smooth to the touch, painted in soft ochres and faded reds. Symbols of lotus flowers, cows, and ankhs drawn carefully by hand. She lights a small oil lamp, though daylight is creeping in. The flame flickers like a whisper. Outside you can hear the soft bray of a donkey, the coo of doves, and the gentle swish of the river beyond. Children wake slowly. No screens, no schedules, only the rhythm of the sun. A basket of warm flatbread waits by the hearth, and morning begins with shared silence and the scent of sweet grain.
Not far from the village center, beneath a thatched canopy, a potter begins his day. His hands are strong but gentle, calloused but precise. He kneels beside the wheel,
a smooth stone disc that spins slowly under his touch. With a wet reed cloth, he wets the clay, spinning, shaping, each vessel born from silence. A water jug, a grain bowl, a storage jar, all made by hand, with care and with time. Birds sing softly from the rooftops. Smoke drifts slowly from cooking fires. The scent of damp earth and baked clay is rich and grounding. The potter hums an old tune, one passed down through generations. A song without words, just the rhythm of memory. No one rushes him. No one interrupts. Here in the Kingdom of Kush, craft is sacred, and work is quiet joy. Now, let's walk slowly down the path to the riverbank. Can you feel the ground beneath your feet? It's firm and warm, worn smooth by generations of footsteps. On either side, papyrus reeds sway gently in the breeze, their dry rustle blending with the faint call of distant herons. A few ducks drift lazily downstream, and dragonflies flash silver as they dance across the water's surface. Women wash clothes in the shallows, rinsing long pieces of linen by hand. Slap, slap, swish, a slow, steady rhythm against the current. Children chase each other barefoot, splashing in the shallows, laughing in quiet bursts, before stopping to watch a fisherman cast his net. The Nile gives life, and in return, life slows down for it. Boats carved from wood and bound reeds float past with baskets of fruit, fish, and pottery. The boatmen sing old songs, low and drifting like the current. Time here is water, flowing, silent, essential.
Now let us step into silence. A short walk from the village, nestled among stone cliffs, stands a small but sacred temple, built not in the towering style of Egypt, but lower, broader, its sandstone blocks warm to the touch. The temple is dedicated to Amun, and here the air feels different, heavy with incense, quiet as the breath between thoughts. You step into the cool shadow of the entrance, and your footsteps echo softly against stone. Painted walls tell old stories, gods with falcon heads, kings in tall white crowns, offerings of grain and water. A priest kneels before a small altar, a bowl of burning resin releasing fragrant smoke, sweet and woody. He chants in a low voice, the words slow, round like river stones. This is a place of stillness. You don't need to understand the language, only the peace it brings. By now, the sun is high. The heat settles gently on the land like a woolen blanket. It is time to rest. Shadows grow long beneath awnings. A family naps in the shade of a sycamore tree, the father leaning back against the trunk, eyes closed, hands folded on his chest. The mother hums softly as she braids her daughter's hair. A bowl of dates and nuts sits nearby, untouched. In the distance, someone plays a wooden flute. The sound is slow, like a lullaby, echoing faintly over stone and sand. Even the animals seem to sleep. A cow flicks its tail. A cat stretches across a sun-warmed stone, and all is still. This is the quietest hour of the day. No labor, no conversation, just breath and breeze and the hush of history. The sun, once high and golden white, has begun its descent toward the horizon. Its rays stretch longer now, casting long shadows across the land. The air, once dry and warm, grows cooler, softer. The villagers slowly stir from rest. A pot is set again upon the fire. Laughter rises in the distance, gentle, never hurried. The smell of lentils and herbs drifts on the breeze, carried by the hush of wind through reeds. Along a narrow path, children return with baskets of dried wood, balanced carefully on their heads. They move like dancers, light on their feet,
whispering old songs their mothers once sang. As the last light kisses the tops of the palms, a young boy brings water from the river in a clay jar. The jar is heavy, but he does not mind. His reward is to walk beside the Nile, watching it glimmer gold and rose in the dying sun. He stops and listens. Only the soft swish of grass and the distant call of a bird. The kingdom of Kush is going to sleep.
As twilight deepens, a soft fire crackles in the center of the village. Not large, just enough to give warmth, to push back the cool breath of desert night. The villagers gather slowly, bringing mats to sit on, simple bowls of grain and fruit, and stories to share. There is no stage, no performance, just voices in the dark, faces lit by firelight, and time stretching out like a cat in the warmth. An elder speaks softly. His voice is worn but steady. He tells the story of the lion-headed goddess who guards travelers, of the stars that tell when the rains will come, of kings long past and pyramids that rise like teeth from the earth. The children listen wide-eyed, leaning into their mother's arms. Some doze, lulled by the rhythm of words and a soft sigh of wind through the palms. Even the fire seems to listen, its sparks floating upward like tiny golden dreams.
The fire has burned low. Embers glow like tiny eyes in the cradle of the earth. Above, the stars have taken the sky, thousands of them, piercing and soft, ancient and watchful. The people of Kush did not fear the night. To them, it was sacred, a time of dreams, of spirits, of rest. They told stories of the stars, how they were the lamps of the gods, or the souls of kings passed on. A priest might point to the dark belt of stars overhead, the river of the heavens, mirroring the Nile itself. Somewhere, a jackal calls in the distance, its cries strange but not frightening. And from inside the houses, you hear only the hush of breathing, the occasional rustle of linen. The world is sleeping. The pyramids nearby rest beneath the sky, their stone faces cold and still, guarding the memories of long-forgotten rulers, whose names are written in faded ink on old stone tablets, whose dreams, perhaps, still echo in the wind.
Not all rest. Some walk quietly through the ancient paths at night. Imagine a young temple guardian, a boy just past manhood, tasked with watching the sacred grounds after dusk. He carries a simple lamp, its oil flame dancing in the breeze. The temple stones glow silver in the moonlight, each carved line, each symbol deepened by shadow and light. He pauses before a great doorway. Carved figures of gods rise around him, watching without eyes, eternal in their stillness. He whispers a short prayer, a ritual learned from his grandfather, and places fresh flowers at the base of the altar. There are no crowds, no chants, only the breath of stone and the hush of night. And the lamp flickers on, guiding him slowly, step by step, toward dawn. Back in the village, a woman dreams. She lies on a low-woven bed, the scent of clay and herbs in the air. A breeze lifts the curtain at her doorway, and moonlight dances on the wall. In her sleep, she sees the Nile, not as it is, but as it was long ago. She is floating, carried by a boat of reeds, past villages lit by fire, past singing priests, past great pyramids rising like hills of stone. She hears the call of drums, the voice of her mother long gone, the laughter of her children before they were born. This is not memory, nor prophecy, just the gentle dreaming of a soul held by the river. And all around her, the kingdom of Kush breathes softly, its temples, its fields, its stones and waters, all asleep. The first light of a new morning spills gently into the valley. It catches on rooftops, glimmers on the river,
and touches the stones of Napata, where life is just beginning to stir again. And with it comes the market. No shouting, no bustling crowd, just a soft murmur, like bees among blossoms. Vendors arrange their goods, folded cloth, painted pots, baskets of grain. Each item tells a story, a necklace strung by a mother, a scroll copied by candlelight, a loaf baked before dawn. A woman with a baby on her hip offers honeyed dates, sweet and sticky in the warm air. A young man sings quietly as he sharpens a copper blade. He is not a warrior, only a farmer preparing to harvest. Even the animals tread lightly here. Goats blink in the sun, and donkeys sway gently beneath their bundles. The market is more than trade. It is communion. It is memory. It is the sound of people living, breathing, side by side.
Not far from the market, in a sun-dappled courtyard, an elderly woman works at a loom. The threads pull taut with each slow, careful tug. In and out, back and forth. Her fingers, thin and skilled, move without hesitation, as though she's not weaving cloth, but history. Beside her, a small bowl of colored dye, made from crushed plants, ground stones, and ancient recipes whispered from grandmother to granddaughter. The fabric grows slowly, a sash for a bride, a shroud for a loved one, a gift for the temple. Her granddaughter watches silently, learning not just technique, but patience and reverence. In the Kingdom of Kush, even a piece of cloth was a story waiting to be worn. Then, sometime in the later moons, the heat breaks. Not all at once, just a whisper, a cloud darker than the others, a wind with breath. And then the first drop of rain. It taps the earth like a finger on a drum. Then another, and another. Children rush into the open, arms outstretched, laughing, their feet stomping joyfully in the puddles. Elders smile knowingly from beneath clay awnings, eyes closed to the scent of wet dust. The river swells, and the frogs begin their chorus, a low humming chant to greet the water's return. Rain here is not sorrow, it is blessing. The Kingdom of Kush welcomes it with open arms, the fields thirsting, the trees reaching, the people grateful. Once, every few years, a great hush fell over the valley. The queen herself would visit, not in splendor or parade, but in silence. Dressed in fine linen and gold, she stepped from her boat with a gaze soft and knowing. The people would bow, but not shout. They knew her presence was more sacred than celebratory. She would speak to the priest, touch the hands of children, leave grain at the temple altar. She rode no chariot, she walked the same stone paths as everyone else. A woman of divine blood, but with feet dusty from the road. And at night, she dines simply. Sweet beer, soft bread, dates soaked in honey. The Queen of Kush did not rule with noise, she ruled with memory and stillness.
At the edge of the desert, rising quietly above the sand, stand the pyramids of Kush. Smaller than Egypt's, yes, but proud and still. Each one holds a soul, a king, a queen, a noble remembered in carved stone and sacred rites. But there is no fear here, no coldness. People walk among these pyramids as if visiting grandparents. They bring flowers, whisper names, touch the stones like greeting an old friend. The wind here sings a low song, a mix of sand and memory. As the sun sets behind them, the pyramids cast long shadows, reaching toward the Nile, toward time, toward sleep.
Back in the village, as stars blink into view, an old scribe sits beneath the flickering lamp. He dips his reed pen into black ink made from soot and water. His scroll is nearly finished, a record of births,
festivals, dreams. He is not famous. He does not want to be. But in his quiet work, he preserves a world, each word, each line, a gift to the future. And when he finishes, he rolls the scroll with care, ties it with twine, and sets it in a basket lined with linen and cedar. He closes his eyes, listening to the night wind, and smiles. His work is done.
And now the fires have gone out. The river is quiet. The stars are steady. In every home, children lie curled beneath woven blankets. Mothers breathe slow and deep. Cats curl into shadows. Even the donkeys dream. The land of Kush sleeps, its pyramids bathed in silver, its temples in shadow, its hearts at peace. You too may rest now, for the journey is complete, not ended, but simply paused. Another night, another story. Let the silence of stone, the hum of the river, and the whisper of wind through palms guide you into sleep. You are safe. You are still. You are home. Good night.
In the Kingdom of Kush, life followed the rhythm of the river. Each season began not with dates or clocks, but with water. When the Nile swelled, rising after distant rains, the people of Kush gave thanks in quiet celebration. It was called the Festival of the River's Return, not with parades or noise, but with gentle song, offerings of herbs, and soft, shared meals. Villagers lined the banks at dawn, placing small reed boats into the current. Each boat carried a flower or a prayer written on linen. Some drifted for minutes, others hours, until they disappeared around a bend, carried by the water like hopes carried by time. Children painted river stones with fish and stars. Priests knelt in silence beside the water, and the elders, they simply watched, smiling without speaking, remembering all the rivers before. The sun shimmered across the surface, and the land, the people, felt washed anew.
As the year turned and the heat softened again, another day arrived, a quiet one, the day of remembering. There were no trumpets, no feast, just stillness. On this day, each family visited the place of their ancestors, a grave, a stone marker, sometimes only a tree known by name. They would bring food, a bowl of lentils, a folded cloth, a piece of music sung softly at the edge of the field. They sat. They spoke aloud the names of those who came before. May you rest in sunlight, they said. May your dreams be soft. Some left flowers. Some left stories. Children listened quietly, learning the names of great-grandmothers they would never meet but always carry. There was no fear in death here, only memory and reverence, and the warm knowing that the ancestors, like the river, were always near.
The people of Kush did not divide the year with numbers and months, but with moments. There was the time of seeds, when farmers pressed grain into damp earth with gentle hands. Then the time of green, when fields whispered with barley and flowers opened like eyes waking from sleep. Later came the long dry, when the air shimmered and all movement slowed to the pace of the sun. And finally, the returning rains, when frogs sang again and the wind tasted like water. Each season came softly, not announced, but felt. The people of Kush did not chase time. They walked with it. And when something passed, a flower, a day, a life, they thanked it before letting go.
Sometimes, on special nights, a family would walk to the edge of the desert where the pyramids sleep. They would spread blankets beneath the stars, light a small fire, and lie quietly watching the sky. The father would point. That one is the lion. That one is the drum. That one is the road back home. The mother would sing, a soft lullaby, no words, only breath and melody. The children would fall asleep beneath the gaze of stone and sky, their dreams watched over by sand-colored kings and queens with golden eyes. And in the morning, the pyramids would still be there, unchanged, unchanging, as if time itself had stopped to rest.
And now, the wind rises slightly. It carries with it the scent of distant fires, papyrus, and ancient stone. You've walked beside the river, heard the songs, touched the quiet fabric of a forgotten world. But this place, this kingdom of Kush, has never truly been lost. It lives in stories, in slow footsteps, in the memory of water and wind. Even now, as you listen, you are part of it, breathing where they breathed, dreaming as they dreamed. Let the stillness settle in your chest. Let the pyramids rise behind your eyes. Let the stars move above you like a silent prayer. You have arrived, not at the end, but in the center of something ancient and kind and quiet. And now, sleep.
Thank you for walking with me tonight, through sand and silence, temples and time, through the golden quiet of a forgotten kingdom, through the peaceful breath of Kush. May your dreams be gentle, may your rest be deep, and may you carry the stillness of this ancient place with you wherever you go. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.